Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Expert Suck Sports Betting Podcast. I am Mike Day, and I am joined by my good friend, Brad Thurman.
Happy Thursday, Mike. We're at
Yep,
it again.
we are here again. Love it, love it. It's football season, so I look forward to every Thursday so that we get to talk football. And yeah, it's just a good vehicle. Our podcast is a good vehicle for that. It's pretty cool.
It really is. Some weeks it's better than others to talk about it. So this is one of the fun weeks.
Yeah, excited about this week, especially based on our outcome last week. So
Yeah.
quick introduction. We are the Expert Suck Sports Betting Podcast, and Brad and I made this up last football season. And what we try to do and what we are doing is we do a slate of games that we have carved out from college and pro football games. We have to do 6 games a week, college or pro, any combination against the spread. And so what we decided to do is to look at the consensus of the experts and try to go the opposite of their picks. And what I mean by consensus is our criteria is 65% or more of the experts have to be on a game. And then a minimum of 75 experts have to be picking that game. And then whatever team they are on, we go the opposite. And with our 6 picks. So that's where we're at. And then for the podcast, we do the review of last week's games, and then we do this week's games and throw in some pretty cool statistics in between.
Nailed it again. Nice job.
Yeah, it's getting somewhat better.
I think 10 years from now you're going to be able to still say this, without even batting an eye. You've got
hopefully thousands of listeners will already know what we're all about, but right now our 60 some plus followers on Spotify kind of know who we are and what we're about. So, but we are building this. We are now live on YouTube. That's how you're seeing us if you're catching it live. For those of you on Spotify or that listen to the Spotify replay, but we do have some video to this, and we do have slides, super cool slides that we do to track our games and talk about our games. So when you hear that on Spotify, just know that you can always come back to YouTube and catch the podcast that way as well. So it's all good.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Brad. So you mentioned that this was a better week. So shall we just jump into the review?
I think we should. Last week we were 2-4, so we tried to get through that as quickly as possible. This week was opposite of that. So we got back in our winning ways, which was fantastic. And we will complain about one game in particular.
Oh, a big complaint about that game.
Extremely close to being 5-1. So 4-2 last week. Again, anytime we're 3-3 is our goal, minimum goal. Obviously, we want to be 6-0, but going 4-2, I will take that every week the rest of the year if we can do that.
Yeah, because like you said, it kind of negates that 2-4 that we had. So it kind of brings us back to kind of like that 3-3 mark where that's the minimum of where we should be, and then everything above that is all gravy. So yeah, let's jump in. You want me to do this one?
Well, of course. I mean, anytime there's Carolina, you make me do it. So anytime there's Notre Dame, you've got to do this one.
Yeah. So 72% of the experts were on USC at Notre Dame, which gave us the Fighting Irish minus 9.5. The final score of that game was 34-24. There were times where we were, and I was a little nervous. Those of you that know me, a big Notre Dame fan, where I'm like, God dang, I mean, this could turn all the way bad to the point where they're losing. But their defense, as bad as their defensive secondary played the entire game, I would give their secondary maybe a C plus, but they made enough plays to take USC out of a couple scoring drives. And Lane Kiffin himself said the one call was a dumb call where it was like a halfback pass and the wide receiver fumbled the ball. And they're driving just at will. And then he calls some dumb play like that. Like, okay, thanks, coach.
Yep.
Yeah.
couple of fourth downs, calls where you scratch your head going, why did they call that? Like it didn't make any sense. And a couple of turnovers late really helped us. I mean, most of this game, I was thinking we are in trouble. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
of
no
covering
way
for
they're going
sure.
to be able to cover this. But yeah, a couple turnovers in the fourth really obviously helped us as they were
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah, the interception at the 8-yard line as USC's going in to score, which would have put them at what 34-31 with a chance to, get the ball back or whatever and tie the game. But big interception. So, and the Irish win and cover for us. So bonus on both ends.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's no secret for those who listen. Mike is obviously a huge Notre Dame fan. I am not. I'm the opposite of a big Notre Dame fan, and I won't go into the story, but there's some obnoxious fans for every team out there, but one in particular back in the past for me was so obnoxious with Notre Dame. I just couldn't, and it just made me hate Notre Dame, and it's kind of stuck because of one person. So,
Well, and as a CU grad, you guys did get over on Notre Dame for the national championship game. So,
holy cow,
uh,
you gotta let that go.
oh no, I'll never let that go. I have just I'm traumatized by it.
I'm the opposite of that. So anyway, yeah, let's get to the game that was just
Mm,
so disgusting. So
this
uh,
was.
yeah, 68% of the experts were on Arkansas at home over Texas A&M. Texas A&M was a 7.5 point favorite. Final score was 45-42 A&M. Clearly they didn't cover, but again, it's easy for us to say they should have covered, but there was so much on that last drive that was just so disgusting. And they had them 4th and 5 on Arkansas side. They allowed them to run off like a 49-yard run. It wasn't even like a long pass down the field or whatever, or a screen pass. They just allowed them to run for 49 yards. But then like that was bad enough. But then they like sacked them, and then there was another penalty or something. And they had like 2nd and 33 or 35, and then they got 36 yards to get, within the shadows of the goalpost. And with what, 13 seconds left, they allowed them to score a touchdown to cover.
Yeah.
It was, again, painful to watch. And just the whole time, I'm like, how do they continue to allow them out of this? It was so frustrating. Um, so yeah, that was pretty frustrating to watch as we were playing poker that night.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. I mean, 10 seconds left. We have the cover. And so many, like you said, I actually went back and did the entire sequence and looked and I like screenshotted the whole thing and I'm just reading it and it's just like this is ridiculous like you covered. Like so many times they let them just get like chunk plays
Yeah,
on third and fourth down and when they kept doing that you and I were just looking at each other like this cannot be happening.
no,
And then again, of course, with 10 seconds left, they score. So there's nothing A&M can do about it. And it's not like they're going to try to score with 10 seconds. They just kneel on the ball and
right, right.
backdoor cover.
It seems like that's our theme the last month or so, and it keeps either personally happening to our personal picks or it's happening with our regular picks.
Yeah.
Uh, and I
And
don't like it. I don't like
it's
the trend.
because our super fan has made fun of the term. So
I think that's it. And now it's just kind of out there in the atmosphere, the ethosphere, the hemisphere, whatever sphere, it's out there, and I don't like it. It needs
yeah,
to stop.
we got to exercise that demon somehow. So yeah, that was not great. So we have to move on. Um, it hurts us until we can talk it out. And
Yep.
now that we've talked it out, we gotta just leave it go.
Yep.
The next game is 68% of the experts are on the Green Bay Packers at the Arizona Cardinals. and that gave us the Cardinals plus 6.5. Final score to that game was 27-23 Green Bay. Interesting game. I mean, it was pretty close kind of the whole way. Cardinals were leading
Yeah.
a lot of the game, which was great because we were getting that, almost a touchdown. And then the Packers come back and they score to take the lead 27-23 with a minute 50 left. But you and I were, I think we kind of text each other and we're like, we're okay with this.
Yeah.
As long as
Well,
like there's no turnover or anything like that.
this is one of these games that, we can both pat ourselves on the back because pretty much everything that we analyzed for this game happened exactly the way we drew it up. It doesn't happen very often, but this followed the script for us perfectly. We talked about, Green Bay going to Arizona, and Green Bay doesn't play as well on the road. Like they choked against the Browns. The Arizona, every single one of their games seems to be really close, and again, everything played out exactly the way we drew it up. So love it. The plan comes together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Jacoby Brissett, like we said, did enough to keep it close, like we had hoped. So yeah, good cover by the Cardinals. That was nice. Advance the slide here.
Yeah, it seems like you get the good ones. I get the crappy ones.
I can do this one because I've kind of been a Virginia backer this year. I'll give you the next one. Yeah, I'll give you the next one because I think you really like that one. So 66% of the experts were on Washington State traveling across the country to the Virginia Cavaliers. That gave us Virginia minus 17.5 points. And the final score was 22-20 Washington State. You know what? This is one of those games.
Actually, Virginia won this one, right? Didn't Virginia?
No. Oh, no, you're right. Virginia did win.
Virginia won like the last 12 points and ended up winning.
Yes, you're right. Did I write that down? I did. I just had this wrong.
That's all right.
Maybe it was one of those ones where we were like, okay, if you're not going to cover, just lose.
Just lose.
And so we were hoping that Washington State would win and beat Virginia for not covering for us. Yeah. So that's one of the other themes of our show is like, if the team we have does not cover, we just want them to lose.
We are outright. We are spiteful and bitter betters. Yep. So,
and we're just that petty. So yeah, like you said, Virginia was losing until they scored 12 points in the fourth to win but not cover. So boo on Virginia.
Well, again, anytime it's green, we love it. And similar to Notre Dame, there's a lot of people out there that really hate when Alabama wins, but I was forced to be a Notre Dame fan and a Bama fan all on the same weekend.
Oh man,
which felt really, really weird. But 66% of the experts were on the Volunteers going to Alabama. It was -8 for Alabama. And this one really wasn't that close. I know one of our followers who was making lots of comments last week.
Yeah.
He loved our picks except for this one.
Sorry, Preston.
Yeah, Preston, if you're listening, sorry about that. We had to go with Bama, and they didn't disappoint. I know you didn't love this game, but it's an 8-point favorite, and they won by 17. This one felt good, pretty much the entire time. So nothing to sweat about this one.
Yeah. So Alabama jumped out to that like 16-point halftime lead, and then they just matched score for score.
Yep.
In the second half, and Tennessee really never mounted any type of comeback. Tennessee's got another tough game this week at Kentucky. So, Preston, your Vols are going through a tough slate right now.
Yes, so, they are.
Good luck to them. We're not on either side of that game. So, and I won't, even in my personal picks, I didn't want to touch that game. No. But this was a green one for us, so that's good. So at that point, we had 3 wins.
Yeah.
Right. Or that gives us 3 wins. We didn't have 3 wins or 4 wins until Sunday, but it gave us 3 wins on Saturday with this one.
Absolutely. All right. So You want me to take the last one as
Yeah,
well?
go ahead. Go ahead.
So we another 65% was of the experts were on Syracuse versus Pitt. Pitt was a 10.5 point favorite. They won by 17, 30 to 13. I didn't watch this and I can't, recall. It never felt like we were in danger on this one. I
Yeah.
didn't watch the game, but I think I was watching at the score and it never felt like, again, Pitt had to score late to cover where Syracuse was coming back. That one felt like a comfortable one the entire time.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it was. I mean, I think Pitt scored first and then really started to not necessarily dominate the game, but they just controlled the game,
Yeah.
um, and kept and scored enough to keep Syracuse down. Syracuse is just they're uh, they're not having a great season. A lot of their skill position players got hurt that were their starters, so they're just suffering through being a very below average team.
Yeah.
They're in line. If they win out, they could make the ACC championship game. I think they've only got one loss, and that might be to West Virginia. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Two losses.
Two losses.
Yep.
They got a date with the Irish here pretty soon, though.
Yeah. Pitt has been one of those teams this year. It seems like um, similar to the Florida State. It seems like every time I bet with my personal ones on Pitt, I'm always on the opposite side because I don't know which team is going to show up. So it's one of those teams that always scares me. But again, for us this week, we didn't have a big slate to choose from. So I'm glad we went with this game because again, it went in our favor and we didn't sweat it out, thankfully.
Yeah. So that put us at 4-2 for the week, which we covered, and that's always great to see.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so then the other thing we do with all these games week to week, and we tally up year to date, is our super cool year to date statistics. Let me bring that slide up, Brad. Sorry, Spotify listeners, but we'll go through it. So this is our year to date stats that we keep track of. We keep track of our season total wins for the Experts Suck, and then the season total of all the qualifying games on the Experts Suck slate that we get to pick from. So if you were just again taking this week, it was like last week it was like 22. And if you were just taking the Expert Suck side going against the experts, what would that season total be? That's that stat. We track the highest percent game that we pick every week, if that's a win or a loss. And then Brad and I have our own personal picks that have a little head-to-head wager on, and we track that. So let's move forward. There we go.
Well, this I'm super pumped about. We are 24-18, giving us a 57% win percentage. And as we've talked about, in order to make money betting in Vegas, if we were to bet all of these individually, you need to be over 52.3. We rounded up to 52.5 or 53, right? Or 52.3 or 52.5. Anyway, regardless, we're over that. We're at 57% right now, which we're thrilled with. And since the pool that we're in, that we're basing this off of, is 6 games each week, we're 6 games above. So I always want to be at least 6 games. So if we're 0-6 this week, we can't go down below 50%. So we're right at that line right now. But I am, again, super pumped that we are at 57% and 6 games over 500 to start the year.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody that's doing, especially a short slate of games, like we've always said that we only get to pick, roughly 24-ish on average games a week, and then the experts get to pick all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So when they come out and they're like, "Oh, we're running at, 60 whatever percent," I'm like, okay, well, yeah, you got all the games to choose from. We have this small slate and we're picking the right ones. That's what this is telling me.
Right.
And as we get into the next stat, it kind of proves out that you and I are doing a good job of, vetting out the the 6 games out of
Yeah,
24 that we can
analyzing the
get.
right games that we think are have a better chance of winning.
Yeah, exactly. So the next stat, like we said, is the season total of all the qualifying games versus the experts. That has come out to be 90, 82, and 1 for the year, and that is a 52.3% win rate, like Brad was saying. That does kind of put you above the pay, like you're making money line, but just barely. It's like a break even, right?
Yeah, and the last couple of weeks, the experts did not have a good week, but last week, to get that number to drop, yeah, the experts had a really good week last week. But as you said, we were 4-2, so we picked the right games. But yeah, the experts were what out of the 22? What'd you say? It's 7-15, I think it was.
This week, yeah, they were 7. Those games would have been 7-15 if you were taking the expert suck side.
Yeah,
So that was a rough week where the experts did a better job on the slate of games that they had 65% or
yeah,
more consensus on. So yeah, they're going to have their weeks. I mean, they should, because
they
that's
should.
what they do professionally.
Yeah,
So this one got one better.
yeah. We moved up. So highest percentage of the highest percentage game each week. We are now at 3-5.
Did you notice who it was?
Was that the Notre Dame game?
It sure was. So even bonus on top of bonus.
Well, this week is going to be a little more difficult because I think this is the highest percentage game that we're picking.
Yeah.
Uh, so so this one might be a little bit more difficult, but I don't know. Like I'm actually feeling pretty good about it. We'll go into it here in a bit, but
Yeah. So 3-5 on that big. Yeah. Let me just keep making. Oh, and yeah, I'll let you go.
so head to head, Mike had another rough week, 2-4, I believe you were.
Yep.
I was 3-3. So I gained a game on you, even though I thought my week was horrible. I think I had a couple late games that actually hit for me to make my day not as bad. So yeah, I gained another game on you. So you're 17-25. I'm 19-23. Neither one of us are proud of that, but I'm happy that I've got a 2-game lead on you.
Yeah. You're only 2 games under 500, where I'm 4 games under 500. So yeah, our expert suck picks are doing much
Wait,
better than
which
our personal
is
picks.
so sad on so many levels that like
Yeah.
what is happening with us? Like I wish I could analyze that to figure that out, but I don't know why.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. I don't have any necessarily like system or method or anything for my personal picks. Um, and you would think with as many podcasts as I listen to that I would get at least some little tidbits, but sometimes those tidbits are just like, dude, you were so far off
Right.
on your analysis of this game. So I maybe have to go back to like 2 years ago. Not to like rehash history, but I'm gonna, like, I was in the tied for eighth going into the last week.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I don't know what I was doing 2 years ago that I'm not doing the last year or this year. So maybe I got to
Well,
go back and look at those notes, the 2023 notes.
but I don't know. Like the more we do this, the more we already know that luck is involved. But I don't know. Just it's happened to several people who do this with us. One year they're just on fire, and we've had several people that have been, even ranked at the top of this pool, close to the end, and then they end up not um, getting in that money to end the year. But then the next year, it's like they forgot how to pick games.
Yeah.
But so
Yeah.
so much of it is just luck, and the games that you picked or the games that you thought you should have picked, and you ended up not picking them, and I don't know. There's so many other factors that go into it. But some years you feel good about it, and some years you don't.
Yeah. And it's hard to analyze variance, turnovers and things like that. Turnovers, injuries, things like that. You can't necessarily, that are happening in game. You can't necessarily analyze and hedge for that. You just got to, like, use a poker term, get your money in with the best information, and just, like you said, hope there's a little bit of luck.
Right, right.
All right, good segue into this week's picks. Yeah, go for it, Brad. Get us
Well,
rolling.
yeah, this, as we always talk about, Mike's the optimist, I'm the pessimist. So it just scared me to no end when I hadn't really looked at the games yet when Mike sent him over yesterday. But then his next text to me was, I don't feel good about this week.
Yeah, boy, I was trying to find 6 games that, like, I even had a lean on. Right, I'm like, okay, I guess I could get with this game, and I was having a hard time finding 6 out of 24.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well,
that tells everybody everything they need to know about this week's picks.
and I think kind of the going into this first game, this was, I believe, our last game that we picked.
Yes.
And if you have to pick the Jets to cover a spread, you know there was slim pickings this year, especially, and I foreshadowed this already, 80% of the experts are on the Bengals at home versus the Jets. And so the Jets are a 6.5 point underdog. And I think so many experts are on Cincinnati because of what happened last week on Thursday night with them beating the Steelers and the way they did it.
Yeah,
Like,
and Flacco, and
yeah, I mean, they look like now, they are the next Kansas City Chiefs, and that's what the experts are thinking. But on the opposite side, the Jets have been so awful the last 2 weeks, for the Broncos fans like we are watching that one in London, and last week getting killed by the Browns and them barely scoring. So don't ask me why we feel good about this one, other than it's the NFL and weird stuff happens all the time.
yeah,
So,
and 6.5 points in the NFL is always kind of like the high end
yeah,
of getting points. So, yeah, I mean, so many of these games are just like field goal games at the end. So we're kind of hoping for that. Um,
yeah,
and yeah, this
but
game, though, Brad, is so on brand for us.
yes, it is.
Because if we hit this one, I mean, it just helps the brand in such a way
Yeah.
that, yeah, it would be great.
Well, and we don't know yet if Fields is playing. They're playing a little, you know, cat and mouse with the Bengals because both quarterbacks are splitting time in practice, and they're not saying, not that Cincinnati's scared of Fields because he's been awful, but was it Tyrod Taylor who's the
Yeah,
backup? Is
yeah,
not. It's not like he was lighting it up when he got in there last week either. But I don't know. This just feels like one of these games. At least that's what I keep telling myself. This just feels like one of these games where, like, Jets are over, and how in the hell are they in this game right now with the potential to beat Cincinnati?
right.
So I'm just hoping Cincy has a letdown game and the Jets actually start to play a little bit.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, let's go Jets. We got to root for the Jets. Oh my goodness. So the next one's a pretty high one too. 70% of the experts run SMU, Southern Methodist, the Mustangs, at Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons. So that gives us Wake Forest +3. ACC home game, SMU traveling. Wake Forest is not a bad team.
No,
Both these teams are, I believe, I was looking at their against the spread numbers. I think they have the same amount of covers this year. Um, Home underdog. And again, Wake Forest is playing much better.
yeah,
So they're going this is a big game for them. SMU uh, is a leader in the ACC. So you got to think that Wake Forest, this is kind of like a Super Bowl playoff type atmosphere, and they could keep it close.
right. Well, and this is one of these games where it started the week where SMU is a 6.5 point favorite, and it's now down to 3. So again, this could be because the betters are making a change, or Vegas is for again I don't know why it would have moved 3.5 points, but um, hopefully, as we say in different times on this show, like Vegas knows something. This is hopefully one of these times when Vegas knows something, and Wake, is a 4-2 team, so it's not like they're awful. Like SMU can be a scary team, but going to Wake Forest again, we feel pretty strong that they can keep it within that field goal.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go, Demon Deacons.
All right, the third game, 67% of the experts are on Wyoming at home versus Colorado State, and Colorado State is a 4.5 point favorite. I generally
Underdog.
underdog. Sorry, I generally stay away from CSU the last couple of years. Very similar to what I complained about with FSU, Florida State. I'm always on the opposite side of this bet. And I did it a couple weeks ago in my personal picks. They looked so good at home, and I'm like, okay, they turned a corner. And then I, bet for them to cover, and they didn't last week. So, I probably would have stayed away from this one, except for this little tidbit that Mike has. So, what have you learned
You
about
want
this?
me to give that one out? Again, from one of these podcasts several podcasts that I listened to, they were looking at, this might have been the Vegas Stats and Information guys, but they were looking at when a head coach gets fired. So they're kind of calling it this 1-game bump of the game after the head coach gets fired. And, CSU just fired Norvell. And it's happened, 7 times already this season with head coaches getting fired. And the game after it, the team has covered the spread in 6 of those 7 games.
Yeah.
So that 1-game bump is a 6-1 against the spread record. So, maybe Colorado State was tired of hearing Norvell, and now they have a new voice and
Right.
some new energy, and it's a rivalry game and the border war, and they go up to Laramie and put it on the Cowboys.
Well, and let's face it, Wyoming is not great. So
No, I mean,
that was
neither one
another
of these teams is great,
No.
but CSU has shown that they can play with higher level competition in their conference by, that Fresno State game.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, let's go Rams. Let's go green and gold.
Yeah, and again, hopefully they can play like they did 2 weeks ago. So fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
just lose by a field goal.
Yep, that's it.
All right, the next one is 65% of the experts were on Boise State traveling to Nevada. And Nevada is a 21.5 point underdog. So they are getting 21.5 points against Boise State at home. I think the at home thing is kind of a big part of this analysis.
Yes.
For whatever reason, Nevada gets up for Boise State at home. Boise State's away from the Smurf turf, playing on regular turf. It could be a letdown spot. I think Boise State has a big game next week. I can't remember who they have. So like a look ahead spot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and they
Let me check real quick.
And they don't play nearly as good away from home as they do at home. So that was kind of my deciding factor. In Nevada, everything I'm reading, even though they're 1-6, yeah, they're not a great team, but everyone is saying they're better than what their record indicates. So yeah, Boise State is a better team. We are just hoping, and we talk about it all the time on this show. We just need Nevada to score some points. They don't. If they score 7 points, we're probably in big trouble because Boise State's gonna probably score over 30. But if we can get Nevada into the 20s, we definitely have a shot with this one.
Yeah, and I think Nevada's offense isn't terrible. So the game after Boise has Fresno State at home and then San Diego State at San Diego State. The two kind of leaders of the conference. So,
Yep.
a slight look ahead. But Nevada, trying to think that they can score.
Well, I mean, their overall offense is ranked 126th, so it's not
It's not
fantastic.
great.
But like they lost to New Mexico last week, but scored, but it kept it close. It was a 2-point game when New Mexico was a 14-point favorite, and they kept it within 2 points. So
Yeah. So
they have the ability to keep these things a little bit closer.
yeah. So let's go Wolfpack. Help us out on a Friday night. Get us started. Get us 1-0 going into the weekend. That would be awesome.
All right, another big spread. 65% of the experts are on Louisville. You have to say it that way. They're at home versus Boston College. Boston College is a 25.5-point underdog. Uh, yeah, I was really leaning on the Louisville. Just had a huge upset last week with Miami.
Yep.
I'm hoping this is kind of like the hangover from that. And 25.5 points, that is a huge spread. And again, Boston College is not a bad team at all. So, yeah, Louisville's better, but Boston College, I believe, can keep this within 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, we have that one friend that likes to pick based on mascots, right? So an eagle is way meaner than a cardinal. So we just gotta hope that the Eagles put it on the Cardinals.
That is not how we pick the games, Mike, but I appreciate it.
I just want to give her a shout out. I don't know. I think she listens or she tries to listen, but um, if her husband, who plays golf with us, listens still, he can let her know that that was my analysis of this game.
Um, yeah, and I said Boston College isn't awful. I just looked at their record. They're 1-6. So for those listening, going, yeah, they're not great. But again, Boston College is one of those teams where sometimes they just come out of nowhere. And again, I don't think they're going to win, but I think this is going to be a much closer game just because of the things we've talked about with Louisville having a little bit of a hangover and overlooking this game, and just keep it closer. Again, you can win by double digits, just don't win by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, something like a 24-7 game that'd be great. Yeah, perfect score. So this last one was a lot of back and forth
Yes.
between me and Brad, and this is kind of like this was heads. 65% of the experts are on Kansas at home against Kansas State, and Kansas State getting 3 points. So that gives us the Wildcats getting 3 over the Jayhawks. Yeah, like I said, coin flip. We had a couple of these were just like it's 50-50 between these two teams. We kind of went Kansas State because they were getting points. I don't have a lot to say about either one of these teams. I feel like they're just barely above average Big 12 team.
Yeah. Well, KSU is riding high, and I'm going to be talking out of both sides of my mouth. But Kansas State upset last week TCU. I know TCU was only a 3-point favorite at Kansas State, but Kansas State beat them by 13. So they have the momentum, and they almost upset Baylor the week before that. They lost by a point, and took care of UCF, by a couple touchdowns, and didn't lose to Arizona by that much either. So they are in all of these games, and all of those teams that we just mentioned are better than Kansas. So that's why I'm just like, and this game in particular, I don't care if Kansas, like 5-6 years ago, whatever, 10 years ago when they were awful and Kansas State was good. It's always a close game. These interstate rivalry games are always close. So, even if Kansas wins, maybe by going into overtime and them winning on a 2-pointer,
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm good with that. We want to avoid. We have 2 games in here that are right at 3 points, which always scares me. But I don't know. There's something about this game that just screams like Kansas State is just it's going to win outright.
Yeah. And like you said, I mean, even if it's an overtime like 22-20 or uh 26-24 type of game,
Yeah,
then so be it. But I agree with you. The in-state rivalry games are within a touchdown, within a field goal often. So, let's just Wildcats win outright by some score and we'll be good.
yeah. And anytime Kansas is another for college basketball purposes, since I'm a Tar Heel.
Tar, Tar Heels basketball fan.
Yeah, I cannot like anytime I can root against Kansas, the Jayhawks. It makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right,
I have no dog in this fight except for we picked Kansas State. So
right.
let's
Yeah.
go.
So let me recap real quick. 80% of the experts are on Cincinnati Bengals at home over the Jets. The Jets are a 6.5 point underdog, so we're on the Jets. 70% of the experts are on SMU going to Wake Forest. Wake Forest is a 3 point underdog, so let's go Demon Deacons. 67% of the experts are on Wyoming at home versus Colorado State Rams. Rams are a 4.5 point underdog. So let's hope this 1 game boost after they let go of the head coach is a real thing for us, and we get this victory as well. 65% of the experts are on Boise State going to Nevada. Big point spread, 21.5 points for Boise State. So we've got Nevada with, they have to lose by 22 points or less on Friday night. Kick our weekend off on a good note. The 5th game, 65% of the experts are on the Louisville Cardinal. They are a 25.5 point favorite over Boston College. So we need the Eagles to keep it within 4 touchdowns and hopefully 3 touchdowns. And then the last game, 65% of the experts are on the Kansas Jayhawks at home versus Kansas State, and Kansas State is a 3 point underdog. So again, let's hope this close interstate rivalry stays the same as it always is, and Kansas State comes out on top. So we don't even have to worry about, this 1 point game or whatever. So that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Any personal picks? Any Thursday, Friday night games here, Brad?
don't think so. I'm going to look again. I think I'm staying away from the pro game. I can't remember on the college game.
Just one of
Yeah.
each. Friday, I think there's
There's
3
a
or 4
couple.
college, including
Yeah,
our Nevada one. Um, I like Nevada for personal picks, but I don't pick any of the games the same as the expert suck
no.
ones because if they both lose, then I'm really upset.
Well, yeah, the college game tonight, both teams are 1-6,
Oh boy.
and South
Guess what? Guess
Alabama.
we're watching NFL.
Yeah, South Alabama is a 6.5 point favorite. I'm like, okay, both teams being 1-6, I can't trust either one. 6.5 points is a lot of points. This one screams, stay away from it.
It's just go watch the NFL.
Just go watch. And even the NFL game, Chargers, a 3 point favorite at home versus the Vikings. Both teams, I don't know which team's going to show up. Again, coin toss for me. I could see the Chargers beating them soundly, and I could see Minnesota coming in there and beating them. So again,
Yeah,
I'm staying away.
maybe I would say maybe play the over on that. The other thing I'm going to say is that I did post another DFS lineup video for the Thursday night NFL game, Chargers Vikings. That's currently on YouTube. If you want to go and check that out, I did a DFS lineup. So Justin Herbert is in the captain spot. So we got to have a little. I want a high scoring game. Just throw the ball all over the yard there,
Right.
Justin. Blake, dude, man, guy. I think this may
That's
be
Blake. That's my son,
that
Blake.
might be one of your relatives here.
It is. Games tonight are no bueno for picks this week, which
Yeah,
that's
Yes.
actually pretty funny because Blake has a tendency to pick Thursday. He follows in his father's footsteps, and I'm trying to get away from it. Blake loves picking the early week,
Just
games on Thursday and
never learns. Never learns. Got to have action.
starts 0-2 and it's like, ugh. So yeah, thank you, Blake,
Action
for
junkie. Hey Blake, just play the DFS lineup. You'll be good. You'll get right into the money line. You'll double your money. You'll be all right.
there you go. Uh, I did want to shout out to, we always talk about, we have a bunch of friends and family in the pool that we're
The contest. Yep.
in the contest, and one of our super fans won last week.
I saw that.
And it was pretty awesome. So congrats to her. I believe this was her first 6-0 ever. So it's been a long time coming and well deserved. So
Nice.
great job. And, don't worry about a letdown. Even if you're 3-3, it feels awful, but it's so tough to get this 6-0. But once you get it under your belt, it's like now you're playing on house money now.
Exactly. You're on a free roll.
That's it.
Yeah, good on her. We always root for everybody that we know that's in the contest. We even root for each other until one of us loses that first game, and then we're kind of rooting for them to go 0-6 or 1-5
to keep losing. Yeah, that's why you're probably bummed that I stopped picking the Thursday night games.
Yeah, right. What are you doing, Brad? Those Thursday nights look so good. They're so good. They're so easy.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Nice.
Well,
okay. Yeah, you got things to go do.
Yep.
We got games to watch, and good luck everybody with your own picks. And I say it every week. Experts suck. Need to get a 6-0 this week. Maybe it'll just shock us that the toughest week for picks.
That's what I thought earlier. It's going to happen on a week where neither one of us are like, "Oh my god, we really need to be 3-3," and that'll feel like 6-0.
We just need that luck. We need that luck that one time. One time, baby. One time.
One time. All right. Well.
Okay. Thanks, Brad, for joining.
We'll be texting this weekend and playing a little golf on Saturday. So
that's right. I'll see you.
Got games going while we're hitting a little white ball around.
There's so much going on. So earlier PGA, there's a big UFC that's in Abu Dhabi. There's so much going on this weekend that I'm going to have everything on my phone while we're playing golf, like you said. So it'll be fun. It's all good. So thanks for joining me again and doing this. We love it. Thanks everybody for joining us. Check us out on Spotify and now on YouTube.
Excellent. Well, great show again, Mike. And good luck. And we'll be chatting next week.
Yeah. Thanks, Brad. We'll see you Saturday.
Yeah.